You're listening to Rivals of the East.
Welcome back to Rivals of the East post-game show, post-Turkey Day, and Week 12 edition. Yeah, we're on Week 12. I'm your host, co-host Sean. Sean, good Thanksgiving? Did you enjoy it?
Dry as the stuffing. But no, actually, it wasn't too bad. Football-wise?
Yeah, football-wise.
Something's better left on the table.
Yeah, there's definitely leftovers, and that's what we got heated up in the form of Dak Prescott, your other fantasy quarterback. But old Kirk, your starting fantasy quarterback, he came through for you, but it was kind of a double-edged sword, right? Because he did beat the Patriots there in a close nail-biter. But I want to say...
He was on the bench. He was on the bench where he belongs.
I would say this. Mac Jones played probably his best game of the year, hands down. Best game in a while.
Probably his best in his pro career since the Browns last year.
Yeah, I would think so. I was trying to think of a game last year where he was like this. Yeah, it's Cleveland. He threw for 382 yards. He was dropping it like it was hot, as the children would say. I think here's what I don't understand, though, man. Like, dude, I look at it, and we'll talk about Dolphins Texans in a minute, but I'm going to say this. The Patriots didn't play well on defense, couldn't run the ball, but Mac stepped up, threw for almost 400 yards, and they lost.
Yeah, you saw some parts that primarily don't exist, magically exist then, and then everything that you considered reliable fell apart. It turned into a Nissan Altima's CVT transmission. Everything else is functioning except for the transmission. Special teams defense has held this team together all year. It's kept them in some tough games. It's the only reason why they've even been semi-competitive.
Beat the Jets.
Baffling penalties.
Yeah,
on special teams, unnecessary. Just so many questionable decisions by players. Feel bad for Kevin Harris making a really bad hit on the kicker late. Allowed them to get a first down. The Vikings moved on, scored a touchdown. I got to give it a Mac. He finally put together something that resembled Patriots offense. Hunter Henry, big connections.
Remember that guy?
Questionable touchdown decision by the referees. I still remove that. They didn't run well. Nelson Aguilar appeared. Whoever the hell that guy is, he magically appeared back in that game. He's honestly like the biggest wild card, I think, on the team. You never know when you're going to get him, but he's going to be there. Devontae Parker, yet again, them just throwing deep and going, just catch it, and he just catches it deep. Mac looked pretty sharp. The only issue I think I saw that whole game Mac made was in fourth quarter time when he needed to, convert some plays, drive again to tie up the game. Delay of time. He had to hurry up and throw the ball away to stop the clock. And then he called a timeout on the same drive, which, if he just hurried up to the ball and just snapped it down, it wouldn't have mattered. But that was an unnecessary use of a timeout. Nevertheless, that overruled catch that was like on the goal line, that would have had the Patriots in a tie game there, but it didn't happen. Patriots defense, if they literally made one stop throughout the entire 3 quarters, maybe it's a different game. But Vikings do what the Vikings do, and they win tight games, and that's what they've done this season.
Yeah, I was going to ask you your opinion. I know my opinion. Vikings is like, as far as a team goes, in a tight game, 1-score game, I honestly can't think of a better team. I don't know what it is. They can play bad all game. They could be ahead by 4 scores, give it up, and it's all in tight, contested game. Nobody puts on the show, the performance. It thrives off the pressure, it seems like the Vikings do in those situations.
Yeah.
And I don't
have
know
the
why.
answer. I have the answer. It wasn't Dalvin Cook with a paltry 2.8 yards per carry. It's that guy, Justin Jefferson. That's the guy. That's the reason why.
Same
Just
thing with that Buffalo game.
absolutely incredible. Just incredible.
Is he the best receiver in the NFL?
Yes. It's not debatable.
You don't think Tyreek Hill is?
No. Tyreek Hill makes a lot of uncontested catches. Justin
Uncontested.
Jefferson, almost every single catch he does is like a high rate reel. Like he has a hand in his face. He has a guy trying to pull out the ball. He made a catch with 3 fingers on the ball while jumping up.
He's
Tyreek
pretty
Hill
good.
doesn't do that.
What
Then again,
round
he
was,
is kind of short.
what round was he drafted in?
I don't know.
I'm going to find out real quick. Hold on.
Was it third, fourth? I'm going to say he was fourth.
Let's look at Justin Jefferson. You say fourth?
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson. Let's see. I'm looking this up right now. I knew he was drafted. He was a first round pick, 22nd overall.
Yeah, LSU guy. He should have been, yeah.
Well, Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase.
Yeah, he's only the best out of all of them. That's all.
Oh my God, I would take Justin Jefferson in the heartbeat. But yeah, I would. It's almost like I get what you're saying, where somebody steps up every time, and the Patriots just didn't have anybody besides Mac in that tight contested game to step up to help make that play that they needed. It was just all on him, and unfortunately, you bench Kirk Cousins, and they wind up doing pretty well. Meanwhile, Dak Prescott throws 2 picks, looks like horseshit, and Dallas still wins. But I want to ask you, rolling into the game coming up, we'll talk more about that on the preview episode. How confident are you after watching this team going against Buffalo in New England on Thursday night?
So there's a few interesting pieces going on there. I think the Patriots went on a stretch where the defense was progressively getting better. I'm not like certain to say the defense has taken a step back, because the way I look at it is they shut down a team that could run the ball completely.
Right.
Non-existent. Outside of passing to Justin Jefferson, there wasn't a passing game. He made up, I believe, about 58% of their offense.
Yeah. In fact, his stats were Justin Jefferson for the Vikings there. He had 9 catches, 139 yards.
Yeah, it's for some reason I thought it was 168, but
don't count out
I have PTSD, so
don't count out the fact that Hawkinson is there now, so he's taken off somebody, and you got Adam Thielen still. So who are you going to cover?
Thielen made a pretty good catch where there was a dirty hit by Miles Bryant. Actually, that also cost them a play. He went low after the catch was already made, threw his entire body into the back of his head. Very despicable play. That was in poor taste. I was spitting out the cranberry sauce there with that play.
Oh man.
But anyhow, so the Patriots have made strides on defense. Jets made their offense that was already bad look like the worst offense. Made them look like the Texans. They were the worst offense like on the field. So I don't think the Patriots defense is that bad. Justin Jefferson's against Jonathan Jones, and Jonathan Jones was made silly a few times, and he made a few good tackles at sometimes. Kyle Duggar, hit or miss. He's either barreling in, making a tackle for a loss of 5 yards, or he's, getting outblocked by a special teamer, allowing a huge punt or kickoff return for a touchdown. So that was a little disappointing. Matthew Judon was held to nothing for, I think, his first time in like a 6-game stretch. But it was constant pressure. Kirk Cousins actually threw a pick. He was the direct recipient of his pressure and threw a pick over the middle. So the Patriots defense is there. I'm not disillusioned with that. Special teams, they'll clean it up. It's Bill's bread and butter. They'll get back to it. It was just poor decision making. It wasn't anything to do with ability. So I believe teams are easier to be able to fix when you have a professional coach, you have the system in place. They have the veterans to get that circled around. Offense, I'm not sure if they can keep rattling that together. They had absolutely no rushing offense. That's a little concerning to me. It looks like David Andrews is going to be a deep sigh in relief. He's not out. He's actually probably going to play. He's probably going to play.
So what happened?
He was back on the practice field 2 days later.
But was it a strain or something?
There was a report that came out from Adam Schefter saying that he had a serious injury in his quad. And
according to my sources, his quad is seriously injured.
And here he was, right back.
According to my sources, he's back on the field.
And surprise, not surprised. What
do you think Adam Schefter's Thanksgiving dinner's like? According to my sources, we'll be having turkey, stuffing, along with cranberry sauce, sweet potato pie,
and a terrible report.
and a terrible hot take. Listen, anything is on the table, according to my sources.
That's why they call him crap sheet.
Do you think when he was having like his cranberry sauce, he was like, according to my sauces?
So yeah, run game,
Shefty, but
a little bit of an issue. I think that was in combination with David Andrews, Isaiah went out.
Yeah.
Not that means much to me. There's actually something that hasn't really been spoken about, especially with our time being. Trent Brown was benched against the Jets. A little weird. And coming into this game, he was benched again. But as soon as Isaiah Wynn went down, he went back into the rotation. I'm going to say that's going to go with his track history, that he's undisciplined. I think he was taking some days off, and Bill noticed it and went, all right, you want to play shit? All right, I'll take you out there. Put the guy that sucks, put him in. Then he got injured, and Trent Brown kind of smirked and went, yeah, we'll see. Mac Jones, I think, was able to write a storybook in that pocket. If the Patriots are able to do that yet again against the Bills, game's going to be a lot closer than I think, because
yeah,
the Bills haven't looked like the Bills in probably 3 weeks. Von Miller is out for the year. So primarily their biggest source of pressure is gone. Their secondary, hit or miss. They're hit or miss. Their safeties are their game. Their safeties are the big playmakers. And their linebacker, Tremaine Edmonds, or is he a strong safety? It's hard because Edmonds. They pretty much they play like linebackers out there. It's hard to even say sometimes.
Yeah,
but yeah, I feel like it could be a close game. You're going to deal with another situation similar to Justin Jefferson and Stephon Diggs. He still does whatever the hell he wants whenever he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Devin Singletary, he does scare me because he has that skill set that the Patriots struggle against. They're better against thumpers. Nick Chubb, non-existent. Dalvin Cook, non-existent. Why?
Right.
Because they're strong power backs. They struggle
one-dimensional.
They struggle against people that have horizontal movement. The linebackers have a hard time going sideline to sideline still, which is why we see a lot of safeties in the boxes. So maybe, you probably go to a more dime quarter set. Hopefully they figure that piece out. I didn't see any issues in the run game. They still present issues.
Yeah.
They have tight ends. They have the receiver. And you still have Josh Allen. Maybe that injury is lingering. I don't know the extent. I've been watching his games, and he's been making a lot of questionable decisions.
Yeah.
He seems to be putting it out there. almost anticipating, and the receivers aren't making the breaks at this point. So maybe reversing what we saw early on in the year, where he was just like throwing it out there, and people are like, "Oh, they're on the same page," and it looks ridiculous. But hopefully that swings the other way. I think it's gonna be a close game, and I think the Patriots have a potential to upset, but we'll see. What about them Dolphins, Buzz? I don't hear too much about them Dolphins these days, except for MVP candidacy.
I'll have you know that we beat probably one of the greatest teams in the NFL, the Texans. I don't know if you've heard of them. Hall of Fame coach
Brandon
Lovie
Cooks.
Smith.
Yeah.
Hall of
He's
Fame
got
wide
Santa
receiver.
Claus beard.
Oh, listen. Miami played how they should have played in the first half there against the Texans. It was 30-0 at half. The defense looked like a good defense. Tua threw for 299 yards. Got a touch, only one touchdown though. I will say the two players to me that make this team what it is right now, one being Tyreek Hill, who a lot of people might not like this, but Tyreek Hill is making Tua look like an all-star. I've watched Tua play. Tua's got some good accuracy on some throws. He still struggles pretty heavily outside the numbers. He still struggles pretty heavily on some of those out routes and all. And if you watch, even going back to as far as like the Lions game and the Bears game, he can get these passes out to Hill, but Hill just somehow gets his body there. It gets in position and makes these catches. And all I got to say is Tyreek Hill's blowing my expectations for what I thought he was going to be able to do. And he's pretty durable. He's making a lot of things happen. So Tyreek Hill is a big heart and soul of this team. The other being Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson gave us something way more than, we actually had before. And I'm going to say, as far as the run game goes, he's a bigger guy. He's faster. He sets the tone better. He can hit the holes. He can make way a little bit more. He's just expanding the offense to something that we had missed. Now, second half, we play, backups because we're up 30 points and we wind up winning 30-15 over the Texans. But I will say this. When we play bad teams like the Lions, the Bears, we beat the Patriots, of course, week 1. It's like when Miami's playing bad teams this year, we look really good. But, we play playoff teams. We did beat Buffalo in week 3, I think it was. Week 3 it was, when they were pretty much down to nobody on defense. But even then it was, it wasn't pretty. To me, it's just like we play teams like the Bengals, playoff team. We play teams like Jets. I hate to say it, probably a playoff team. They'll snag the last wild card spot, I think, especially if Mike White stays playing really good. And we also played. Who else do we play against and lose? Another playoff caliber team. We're just talking about this. So it's the Jets. Oh, the Vikings. We also lost to the Vikings. Now I know some people will say we didn't have 2 of those games. Maybe it's possible. I know Teddy Bridgewater put up the same stats with Tyreek Hill and similar numbers to Tua in the Vikings game. So can't really say that it's too far off. Same thing with the Bengals game. But when I look at this team, we play the 49ers next. And the 49ers defense is going to be the real test for us because Tua hasn't played against a defense like this. And not only that, but Kyle Shanahan knows what we're going to do. It's just a fact. Kyle Shanahan knows what Mike McDaniels is going to do. And he knows what Mike McDaniels is going to scheme. And it's just a matter of who's going to execute better. And I trust Kyle Shanahan to execute it better. This will be a real litmus test. If Tua performs well in this game and plays well and we can click and we can actually get things going and beat the Niners, I think that it's a real statement that we're ready for January football. If we don't look competent in this and we struggle in it and we can't execute against a top 2, top 3 defense in the 49ers, and our defense, let's face it, all right, Jimmy Garoppolo is not a world beater, but he's comfortable in that system, and he's winning them games, and he's not turning the ball over. And you add Christian McCaffrey to the mix, plus Elijah Mitchell, plus George Kittle. We struggle against tight ends. We always have. I mean, there's just a lot of pieces on the Niners that would make you pay for it. Deebo Samuels being another one. We struggle against the run. So I fully expect a loss to the Niners just because when we look at experience-wise, Kyle Shanahan has been to a Super Bowl. He's been in that offense. He's got the pieces there. I don't think it'll mean that, we can't bounce back the week after maybe or something, but it's going to be a real litmus test. And Sean, I don't know if you noticed or not, but with the Dolphins, I don't know. The AFC East is just up for grabs. Do you think that they take the East? Because it's getting talked about more and more. And, with the way Buffalo's playing, I could see it. But then again, I don't get my hopes up. You know what I mean? So is this the first time since 2008 Miami wins the East?
Yes.
Think so?
Yeah. So a few interesting things about this matchup, a similar scheme, playing from a former boss, I guess you would say, because, McDaniels wasn't doing the play calling. But interesting enough, he uses more motion than his own predecessor. And what he has done is he is taking two of the fastest guys vertically, and he's running them in formations where he can swing them outside using motion. So they're getting a full burst of speed, and then they're hitting their route, and then they're pulling out. And they're doing in forms where they're able to break off in multiple routes. So they're able to cut back in, hit the flat, cut in, go for a deep in. They're able to go on a post. They're able to do a deep out route. He's almost attacking these defenses purely based off their athletic speed. And because he's doing it all in almost play action, which I think they have become extremely deadly now that they can run the ball.
Right.
So you're taking the speed that could beat a person one-on-one, I think, in man, just in general. But now you're able to have them swing out, and you don't know who you're looking for. You're going, well, they can hit us with the running backs and the flats, because if we over pursue, they're going to kill us, go outside. They could swing, they could cut in, they could hit us over the center. Someone plays man against the Dolphins, I think they're dead. And I think the Patriots found that out the hard way. This Shanahan defense has the answers, though. It's zone. It's good zone defense. That's how you stop that. The only thing I think the counterpunches the Miami Dolphins now hold is, just a former player they remember, Wilson. I think if they're able to do the same things that the Miami offense is already doing, where they're able to get the motion, and then, they're just sitting there. They're going to pull back and they're going to sit in zone. Well, if you have a guy running up the center and you're sitting back, you're probably going to give up 4 or 5 yards. Okay, well, let's say they start to have a guy that sinks in, or maybe he does a bluff and he pulls back down. Tua now is in that opportunity where, we've seen him do a million times, where he does those PA, rollouts where they do the fake. He runs one way, the running back goes the other way. Now he can actually just hold the ball, roll out, and then have a guy cut open on a drag route, because, drag routes beat zone. The Miami offense has tools. I don't think that San Fran defense is going to be as good as they've been, and I think they're going to struggle against it. And I actually think this is going to be a really good game, a really interesting one, because the San Fran offense is the complete opposite. It's power.
Well,
power.
I look at the San Francisco offense, and they're going to control the time of possession.
That's it. They can.
If you
McCaffrey, I think this is McCaffrey's going to kill them.
Yeah.
I think you could see him having 10 targets.
I'm going to tell you right now, if the Niners get a 2-score lead on Miami, that's game. And the reason why I say that is because
one defense, the other doesn't.
Yeah. And if Miami has to play very aggressively, you already know what's going to happen. They're not going to have time to catch up. They're going to have to throw to Tyreek Hill or throw to Jalen Waddle.
Debo with his, they do the end arounds.
Nobody's going to cover Debo.
He's killed multiple teams on running the ball. He can still catch. Brandon Ayuk. Finally,
yeah.
He had a terrible rookie season. He's been really good this year. Actually, he's their best receiver. Kittle still out there, and they like to slam the ball down. They run the power formation. A lot of play action. That's what Jimmy plays best with. Jimmy, he potentially has a game. He could feast on the center of the field if they get the run game going. And I think McCaffrey is going to be really good if he even wants to check it down and just because I think McCaffrey still has the speed that Miami defense just it's not there. I think we saw that against the Bears. In fact, I think that's actually and they could probably beat the Miami defense using the same thing Miami's offense is doing, where they just play action the crap out of everything. You don't know what to run, you don't know what to pass. Who's going to keep it? Who's going to do what?
So, Lachelle, let me ask you this. Since you're a Madden professional who just got swept in the season by me, let me ask you this. When you look at the Miami offense, how do you beat it? If you're San Francisco, how do you beat it?
A lot of blitzing and a lot of bluffs.
So would you say a cover 0?
Absolutely not. You'll get killed, I think.
No, I'm saying no. Listen, I'm saying like the amoeba defense. Like if you're bluffing, blitzing, right? And everybody's at the line and you drop. You don't know who's zone. You don't know who's man. Doesn't matter who's running any of that.
It's the center of the field. I think if you want to have your safeties or linebackers act like they're pulling in, they're getting ready for a run stuff. Coming up to the line, show more people in the box than you do, and then pull back. But the only way you could do that is if your actual corners do sit down, and obviously that makes you exposed. But I don't think we've really seen the Miami offense just sit there unless they motion. That is actually how they beat that. That is the only way they beat that. Is a team, when they start to do that, where they start to send everyone into the box, they'll motion out to the other side of the formation. And then guess what? He's in cover. So he's not going to pull up to him and follow him. He's going to sit back and pull back. So that forces a guy that's actually just sitting in his zone to be on an island. He doesn't have that help. I still think you got to play zone. You just got to watch the cover guy. Your guys' assignments have to be perfect. They just have to know if someone's going into formation, who's going to bracket. It's up to the safeties in the corners. The linebackers are going to make or break this game.
What if your fullback runs a wheel route?
They could get that's actually terrifying to me. It's terrifying because you could get beat by a guy that
Kyle Juszczyk is going to have the career game.
I have Jalen Waddle. We're watching him. He's just going to beat us inside. We know that. He could out physical you. He could just run inside. He could run outside. He could just outrun you. Tyreek Hill, there shouldn't be a safety that shouldn't be looking at him. But then when you have the running backs, and let's say Tua finally decides I'm going to hold it and act like I'm an athletic quarterback and roll out, even though he has the speed of a tortoise on skates.
Listen, I don't think Tua's going to roll out. You want to know why? Nick Bosa is 3rd in sacks in the league. He's top 3 in pressures.
Not that he could be afraid of Fred Warner or anything like that.
Fred Warner's the best linebacker in the NFL. He can play pass coverage. He can play run stuffer. The guy can do it all. You've also got Greenlaw on the line who gets pressures. Here's the thing about the San Francisco defense. Everybody does their job. You don't have all these players who want to be heroes. Everybody does their job. Nick Bosa's job, get to the quarterback. That's it. Dre Greenlaw's job, stuff the run. Fred Warner's job, don't let anybody 10 to 15 yards in the middle of the field. And that works. Those three guys alone set the tone for that defense, where everybody else can move around and do what they got to do, but those three guys are going to do what they're supposed to do. And it's the same thing with the offense. Jimmy Garoppolo, don't turn the ball over. Don't go past 15 yards if you don't have to. Deebo Samuel, run when you need to, catch the ball when you need to, just be a playmaker. So whatever we motion you, everybody's got to follow you so we can open up for Brandon Ayuk. And then lastly, Christian McCaffrey now. Whatever you do, I don't care if you do a fade block into a hook route. I don't care if you do a wheel route. I don't care if you do a slot. I don't care what you do. Maybe fake the handoff and then jet out to the flats. You set the tone with those three playmakers, let alone George Kittle, fourth one, because you don't know if he's going to block or if he's going to come off the block and go on a route. Because
it's gross as it could possibly sound. My keys to the game are both the running backs on both teams.
You're talking about McCaffrey Mitchell combo, and then for Wilson.
I think McCaffrey has the potential to kill them, and I also think Jeff Wilson, because if he's running early and he's gashing them, the playbook is endless, and I think the possibilities are a nightmare.
The only problem,
because it actually gives threats to their play action.
I agree. The only problem I think we might have is the fact that Kyle Shanahan knows, dude. He just came from San Francisco a few weeks ago. You don't think he's going to know how to stop Jeff Wilson? They do it in practice all the time. You don't think it, and let's face facts. The offensive line for the Niners is way better than Miami. We have a potential opportunity to, yes, we could get to the outside maybe, but we're not running up the inside. We're going to have to rely on early play action with no running.
See, that's the thing. That's actually what I think they have to do is they have to run the inside. Because I think once they do that and they start pulling people inside, that's just
if they can.
But I think that's what they're going to have to do. Because I think if they want to soften that cover, they're going to have to run inside. I think they're going to have to come out in the threat that they're going to throw it a lot and then run up the inside. Try to get some of those favorable matchups on the outside. You get someone in motion, they're just going to kill them. And I don't even think the 49ers have to literally do any of that. I think they just have to be okay running the ball. Kittle's going to win his matchups. Deebo can break on any given play. Jimmy, don't be stupid. Just hand the ball off when you have to hand the ball off and make the smart throw. That's because he's going to get his points on that defense.
Yeah.
They're not going to win the game if they don't score 21 points, I think, at least, which has actually been an issue for the 49ers this year. Funny enough, their defense has been that good.
If Niners score 20, listen, if Niners score 24 points, they win.
Yeah, it's possible. Dolphins, hard press. They won't score 17. Hard press.
They're going to have to score 21 or more.
Yeah,
at least.
They're going to have to. They're going to have to put the pins in this one on them. They're going to have to make that defense, on their heels, which I think is a hard task, but
it is. Can do it. Final score predictions for Week 13. Sean, hit you with this one. Patriots, Bills.
Patriots, Bills. No, just no. I think it's going to be a reverse of fate. I think it's no longer going to be the howling winds, the Patriots running the ball 2 million times into a cloud of dust. I think
no 3 pass attempts
on them. I think the Bills do it to the Patriots. and I think it's going to be a disgusting, ugly, pitiful loss. 19-17, Patriots lose. Just that ugly.
I'm gonna go a little more respectable. 24-21 Bills.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm gonna go 24-21 Bills. Now,
I think they could be sitting in a similar position as Aaron Rodgers, going, "Let's just look to next year."
you know what? I'm out. He's like SpongeBob in the chair. All right, I'm gonna head out. I got hurt.
Yeah.
So you say 19-17 Bills. I'm gonna say 24-21 Bills. Dolphins 49ers. What's your prediction?
26-21 Dolphins.
Wow. Okay, gonna give it to the Fins. I want to give it to the Fins. I've been real proud of them. I've been very critical, but that's what I'm supposed to be. But I've been very happy with them barely beating bad teams. And it's a little jab. No. I'm glad that we're sitting at 8-3. It's the first time since I was a kid that we've been this good off. When it comes to the 49ers game, though, we're not going to win that one. Are we going to be respectable? I think so. We've got the tools for it. I just think it's going to come down to coaching, honestly, coaching and execution. And I think Shanahan's going to have his team more prepared than McDaniel. That's just a reality. He's the predecessor. He's the guy who set it up and created that. So I'm going to go with 49ers are going to win this one, 24, Dolphins 20. And I think the Niners are going to get a lead 24-10, and they're going to hold on because Miami's going to get another 10 points in the second half, keep it close, but Niners defense is going to probably get a stop on fourth down to win it. So Jimmy G comes out and kneels down.
If the 49ers win a game, that's very plausible. I could see them getting to a 2-score lead and sitting. That's what they do. I mean, they're not a high-scoring team, but they play good defense. So,
yeah, I mean, you know all about that, right? According to our last Mad matchup. Is Bill squawking in the background watching the game like 13-3? Is Bill okay?
Yeah, me with the kickoff return. That's all I got.
I was just wondering, like, how hard was Bill after that Jets Patriots game the other week? Was he just like, someone's got to call a doctor because his erection is lasting more than 4 hours? Special teams won that game.
Yeah. that guy where it's all pure defense and special teams, and he goes, best game of the year. And then he watches Mac Jones have a like NFL breaking game, and he's just like, defense is shit.
Well, my favorite thing would be he would say, who won?
You tell me.
Like, how's Max?
You tell me. Ask the pool reporter. I'm like, you're the head coach. And he's like, ask the pool reporter.
Unless it's Chris Berman. Hey, Chris. No, my favorite, one of my all-time favorites, where's Bill Belichick? One of my favorites was just, don't ask Bill Belichick anything about injuries. Well, I look like a doctor. But if you ask him about, what's so important about having a gunner? Well, back in 1947, he gives you an 8-minute history lesson.
That's how reporters soften him up for the actual question they want, and they slide that in and feed it. And sometimes he goes, all right, now, I will give you a history lesson. You're going to have to pay me under the table for that one.
Yeah, needless to say. Well, everybody, we're going to wrap it up here today. Thanks for joining us. Again, we got a big week of football coming up. We'll be back again as well. Thursday night game, of course, so short week. So let's see if Sean's prediction pans out. And besides that, give us a follow on not Facebook, excuse me. Give us a follow on YouTube, and you can check us out on Instagram and wherever podcasts are available. But Sean, anything you want to end with?
No, just have dinner ready early because this is going to be a boring one.
Sounds great. See y'all next week.